Okay, scholars, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's lesson. So today we are focusing on partitioning a rectangle and identifying the fractions for each part. Now, these thinking steps below will help with pretty much any shape, partitioning any shape. Circle, triangles, squares, you name it. So the first step is to draw your shape. Again, that can be whatever shape the directions are telling you to use. Then step two is to partition the shape into equal parts. That big word partition just means to divide. So to divide it into equal parts. Then step three is to shade in each part with one of your crayons. So this is why I asked you to get 3 different crayons or color pencils before this lesson began. And then finally, step 4, we're going to write the fraction for each color in your shape. Now, once we get started, you'll see why I wrote each color in big bold letters because that'll be really, really important once we get started. So, the first example we're going to look at is a real world example. It is a flag of a country in Africa. So for our first example, we'll look at the flag of Chad, which again is a country that you would find in Africa. So I don't have to draw my shape because it's already provided for me. But I am going to look at my shape and see how many equal parts are on my shape. Well, I notice 1, 2, 3 equal parts. So I know this flag is partitioned equally and I will be able to identify the fractions for each color on this flag. So if I'm looking at the blue section, there's only one blue part on this flag. So I know that for my fraction, my top number has to be 1, and then my bottom number will be the total number of parts on this flag. So here I have 1, 2, 3 parts again. So my bottom number will be 3. Now I need to write the fraction for the yellow part of this flag. I only have one yellow part, so that top number will be 1 again, and then the bottom number will be 3 again because the total number of parts on this flag will not and has not changed. Then finally, I need to write the fraction for the red part. So you go ahead and think for a second, what do you think the fraction would be for the red part of this flag? I hope you said 1/3 because we have one red part out of 3 total parts. So the fraction for each color on this flag is 1/3. 1/3 of this flag is blue, 1/3 of this flag is yellow, 1/3 of this flag is red. And all together, those 3/3 make 1. Did you say whole? You will be right. 1 whole. So now let's look at an example where we have the shape, but now we have to partition that shape. The directions tell me to partition this flag into 4 equal parts. Take about 5 seconds and think about how you will partition this flag into 4 equal parts. I got my idea. I hope you have yours. So to partition this into 4 equal parts, I'm going to start right here and draw a line down the middle vertically. This is called vertically. A little crooked, but it's okay. Then I'm going to also draw a line down the middle going this way, and we call this horizontally. Bam. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. Well, if my parts are equal, then I should be able to make some fractions, right? Before I get to that step, I need to color my flag in. The colors that I chose today are red, green, and blue. You can use whatever colors you have right there in front of you. So I'm going to go ahead and switch now to my red crayon. And I'm going to color this part up here in the corner red first. So I'll just shade that in a little bit. Red, 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 getting it red. Oh yeah, red. All right, boom. Then my next color is green, so I'll switch to my green crayon and I'll color this part green. Gotcha. Oops, little messy, but no problem. It's okay. And that part is green. Bam. Next, I need to use blue, so I'll switch to my blue crayon and color this part blue. It does not matter what part you choose to color, the colors you have available. Just get to coloring. All right, so this part's blue. Wait a minute. I still have a box, or not a box, excuse me. I still have a part that is not colored in. So what should I do? I cannot go get another crayon. I bet you thought you could, huh? Nope. I can't get another crayon. I have to stick with the colors that I have. Well, out of these three colors, I like red the most, so I'm just going to switch back to my red crayon and color this part red. You can color the fourth part of your flag if you were doing this practice problem with me. You can color the fourth part of your flag, whichever one of those colors is your favorite as well. All right, so now my whole flag is colored in. So now I have to write the fractions for each part. Now I know this is in order, red, green, and blue, but I'm going to start with blue first. So I noticed that only one out of my 4 total parts is blue, so that means my top number is 1 and my bottom number will be 4 because 1/4 of this flag is colored blue. Then next, I'll write the fraction for the green part. There's only one green part just like blue, so that fraction has to also be 1/4. 1 out of 4 parts are green. Finally, I need to write the fraction for my red parts. Now, it's a little different, don't you think? Yeah, because look, we have 1 red part, 2 red parts. It's a little different, but it sure isn't difficult for some bright scholars like you. That just means that my top number is 2 and my bottom number is still 4 because the number of total parts did not change. So now when I look at this flag, I know that 2/4 of this flag is red, 1 part, 2 part makes 2/4. 1/4 of this flag is blue, 1/4, and 1/4 of this flag is green, 1/4. Now, guess what, scholars? It's your turn. You will find some practice problems pretty much like these, just like these. I shouldn't say pretty much, excuse me. Just like these down below. Try it out.